And there we are, live, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Achaidh. I have returned, and I shall be doing a little bit more GM preparation today. I'm excited. Hopefully you're excited too. We can all be excited, because I'm looking forward to playing again. Well, I say playing again. Oh, hey, it's me. I'm looking forward to actually GMing again as well. It's going to be marvellous. Now, what we're going to do is just do a little ba-ba-da-da-da. Everyone in the Discord. There we go. There we go. May. Well. Now, as you can see from yesterday, where we've announced the return of the... Well, not the return of the campaign, a new campaign. We have now a little bit of information on Tarm. So I've started to fill this out, and I wanted to continue the world-building process with you and sort of discuss thoughts I have, ideas, and general things that will hopefully be of some interest, and if anyone else is running campaigns, could be enjoyable to sort of just muse over for a little bit. Do feel free to leave me some comments if you have particular ideas. How's it going, May? How's it going, Philippe? Is it Philippe or Philip? We'll go with Saint Philip for now. I always like the way the French pronounce that name. I like the way they pronounce many things, which is why there will be offensively bad French accents within my campaign. What happens in Berghafen stays in Berghafen. That's actually the motto of... is it Weiberg? Yeah, what happens in Weiberg stays in Weiberg. Although I'm sure the Germans probably pronounce it like Weiberg, because, you know, them and their pronunciations and stuff. Right, anyway, back to Tarm. So what we've established thus far, I'll guide you through it. We have a wooden palisade wall surrounding the town, and they are in a constant need of repair, poorly constructed, shallow foundations. Animals and raiders are often able to sneak inside unnoticed. Several small watchtowers capable of housing the sort of 5 to 6 watchmen are present, but rarely occupied, and that we'll come to in a moment. Inside the buildings primarily resemble wooden lodges. The residential areas will be small shacks, sheds effectively, and generally the entire town is going to be of timber construction, really. So that's going to be cool. The one exception is Lord Tarm's stately home, which is going to be brick and mortar, and it's going to have been built by his father, because, you know, you don't want him to be... It's easy to dislike someone if like Daddy did everything for them. So his father had this done, and the story goes that Imperial Dwarfs assisted in the process. But since then, there's been little need or innovation or cause. Well, no, there's sufficient cause for him to invest money into protection. But hey, as long as his home's safe, he doesn't really care. There's sufficient people around to absorb any brunts of attacks, and thus far, it's just sort of small raids that terrorise the village, and perhaps there's a reason that he doesn't mind, who knows. Now, industry-wise, the primary export is going to be livestock. The local lands, dense forest and rocky fields dissuade all but the most naive or perhaps skilled of farmers, and the uneven terrain would make it difficult to raise cattle, so therefore we have goats and sheep being the sort of the primary livestock of the area. Another industry is mining, something of note. We'll get onto hunting in a moment. Some of the nearby hills have been exhausted. The local mining company known as the Bergman Brothers continue to employ some 70 staff. Though they export coal to Bookhaven, it is barely enough to fund their search for silver and riches. So we're going to have a little mining operation. There will be some Imperial Dwarfs there too. We'll probably say out of, say, 70 staff, we'll probably have like 2 or 3 dwarf prospectors. We'll probably have... what else are we going to throw in there? Obviously, there'll be some dwarven miners as well, so that'll be nice. Let's say under 70, there's probably going to be 25 dwarfs. So a fairly large number. They're primarily going to hang out at the tavern known as the Miner's Pick, which I think is a really good name. So that's what we got there. Now, industry-wise, we can continue with the industry. We will have hunting. So this could be procuring pelts, it could be leathers, etc., hides, from the various animals around the area. You're going to have wolves, you're going to have bears, you're going to have all sorts. Maybe not too many on the bear side of things, but a few. But I think that's probably going to be the majority of the local sort of flora. But there could be beastmen. Not that you're really going to wear a beastman hide. That's somewhat heretical. But the wooden tools that the dwarves don't have. Yes. Going to add a tanner's. Yes. So there will be an entire guild dedicated to processing the wool. So there'll be like a weaving guild and a tanner's as well. So let's put that down. Hunting, tannery, and weavery. So there we go. So is the word weavery? Anyway, we'll put that down for now. So that's definitely happening. I like this. I like where this is going. So we're going to have a lot of woolen products, and people will be fairly adequately clothed, at least in terms of woolen everything. So your underwear's made of wool, so congratulations. Everything itches all the time. There's just lots of wool everywhere. I would say, or perhaps even we could have it. It depends who owns the industry, right? Because if the Lord exports all the wool, there wouldn't really be much left for people to deal with. It depends if it's processed here or if it's processed in Bokarfen. So let us go to Bokarfen and actually have a look here and just see. I like letting the world inspire me a little bit, because then also everything makes sense, right? Right, so we'll go for Bokarfen and we'll look at... we have a map here of Bokarfen. It's not the one I want. I want the... we've got quite a few here. These are some maps I've downloaded too, so I like this. Right, so I want my actual mill farm. What else do we have? We've got so many maps. So many maps. I think I actually... Did I get rid of the map of Bokarfen? Well, we'll have a look. I think I may have. Shame on me. Shame on me if I did. That took me like a week to make. Yeah, you know, I actually think I did get rid of the majority of maps. Mill Farm, Cavern, Burned City, Buildings, Rough Nights, Hard Days. Yeah, I think I did. Well, I've still got it on my computer, but anyway. Hydra to center townspeople constantly scathing due to woolen. Right, what we're going to do is... Hydra stuff. Right. Bokarfen. No, okay, I'm just gonna do some file browsing on my computer on the other screen, because I'm on desk. No, over this way. There we go. What can we do here? What can we do? Bogan map. Right, is this the map? Okay, so we have the map. There's a map. Hydra rip. Okay, so we've got carpenters, we've got teamsters, stevedore, metalwork, cartwright, physician, mason, jeweler, merchant, and we have a mourners and a tailors guild there. There is a lot of guilds, but hey, Bokarfen is huge, right? So that's okay. You like the top view drawn maps? Yeah. I like them too, but they take too long to make, so that's why I don't use them that much. But I will be trying to do a few more top-down maps, because I do think it makes things a little bit easier for players to navigate combat at times, but I prefer Theatre of Mind so much. Simple guard for the locals at best hides, best quality wool gets extorted by the Lord. Yeah, I'm thinking the locals are maybe going to be more what they've scavenged, so I think there might be some woolen things, but there won't be that much. Okay, so what we're going to say here is... We'll go back here. So if we go wool, primarily... Because you can't just turn wool into clothes. You have to actually process it first, don't you? So I assume most of that's going to happen in Bokarfen, primarily exported. Some individuals make their own clothes via weaving. These are... Maybe there is limited supply. There you go. So there will be some clothes. There will be some wool. And it will mainly be... I'm not going to say that. I don't want to give too many spoilers here. I'm coming up with lots of quest ideas and plots and stories. And I'm like, no, I can't say that. Right. Tannery. Independent. Gently run. Associated with Hunters Guild. Okay, we'll put associated and protected. Lord Tarm won't like it. Okay, Lord Tarm doesn't approve, however, can't risk upsetting the Hunters Guild. We provide the majority of protection. Okay. Good. Okay. And they're having to provide protection for the town in terms of defense, only out of necessity. So there's going to be a lot of disputes between the local lord and the various guilds. So the tannery will be goods equal mixture of hides and leathers from woodland, mostly poor quality. I mean, it's not going to be made from, like, cow. It's going to be, like, old dead horses, I assume. Badgers, squirrel leather. That's what you want in life. Squirrel leather. If locals have sheep, it would be natural for them to have some good clothes. I think that's assuming that I'm not that sure about the medieval times. I would have assumed that the wool would be taken to a place where it's then processed and turned into something that can actually be woven into clothes. I don't know what you call the damn process. It just depends if the lord is in charge of the farming, and I'm putting him down as he's the owner effectively of all of the sheep. So most households would have a spinning wheel. Yeah, that does make sense, doesn't it, Zerag? That does make sense. Okay. Let's supply. No, bear with me a second. I appreciate your inputs. There's limited supply due to Lord Tarm owning all of the local. Are they flocks of sheep? Flocks. However, some. Okay, many families manage to, I don't know, scavenge? Yeah. And make their own clothes. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. Herds, thank you. It's not a flock, it's a herd, isn't it? Okay, I'll retype this. This is just so I've got something here in my head. Acquire orcs to make green hats. Well, that will work too. The Lord levies a major of any produce in a town, so they may not have enough spare after meeting the quota. That's what I'm thinking, Taller, is that the majority of it's going to be exported by him. Things are going to be harsh and strict. Then the flock wouldn't have enough for themselves to sell. So, yes, the idea here is that the locals are poor. The players are poor. Everyone is poor. Obviously, I would say that the farmers probably are reasonably well fed. We'll come back to that another time. Yeah, and we've got goats here as well. So we've got to have some goats in life. Right, so we have our tannery. We have... The tannery, I think, is going to be relatively cheap, but poor quality. So let's put that too. Cheap, but poor quality. So most of the goods from there are going to be from, say, the pelts and hides of animals from the woodland. And I would say most of it will be like shoddy and unreliable, or shoddy and bulky, or ugly and bulky. So it's not going to be particularly good quality armor, but it will be there. And that's also a nice way for the players to actually be able to afford some armor too. It makes it a little bit more reasonable for them to get, although it makes it also not quite so, not quite so rewarding. If you all have ugly-looking armor and you rock up into the next town, they'll be like, "Oh, you're from Tarm, aren't you? I can tell by your really shitty leather armor." Yeah, I know. Okay, so I like that. I like that. So we got the tannery, the weavery. We don't need a weavery. People will just generally be weaving their own. Hunting, tannery. There we go. Now, Hunters Guild. Let's talk about that. Okay. Hunters Guild. I'll process all of this later and put it into a fairly, more, let's say, a more presentable format. But the Hunters Guild will have members around, we'll say 50 members. 50 members in total. Most of whom... Now, 50 members in total. Will they also take the role of the local road wardens? Probably not, because I think they'll be stately owned. The hunters will be independent. So what are the hunters are obviously going to be just buying and selling, getting animals from the nearby land. Now here's the issue, that normally the animals on the land would be owned by the lord. So, okay, arrangement has been made that they can hunt in the local forests. They'll have a license, actually, a hunting license. They can hunt in the local forests. Arrangement has been, we'll say a license has been granted so that they may hunt in the local forests the animals that belong to Lord Tarn. The cost is that they help defend the town. 50 out of 500 for a group that enforce laws and protection, as well as hunting for the locals. Not so much laws and protection, it's more just out scavenging, and out of that you're probably going to have a good portion of them out camping and out at any one time. So I would say there's probably 50 members, but if you were to go into the guild, you might find 10 or 15 people there. I think they will also sell some of the animals to Bogarthen. I think they'll export some of them as well. Cost is that they provide protection. Additional protection to the town by dealing with nearby threats and invaders. So we can talk about the threats and invaders. I mean, that can basically be greenskins or beastmen. That's pretty much where it's going to come. If there's a license to hunt, does that mean that the general populace can be prosecuted for unlicensed hunting? Absolutely, Tala. Absolutely. You've got a license for that? Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to go hunting and catch a wild animal, you're going to need a license, and you're going to have to pay for that, and it's going to be expensive. Because, Warhammer Fantasy and medieval times, life sucks. So, bandits probably. Yeah, and of course bandits too. Okay, let's mention them as well. They provide dealing with threats, bandits, and should we greenskins, goblins. Should we say goblins? Nah, we'll just put bandits and goblins. Bandits, greenskins, and goblins. Well, I'll retype that to make it seem neat in a bit. Right, so the Hunters Guild. Okay, so let's write a little bit of fluff about them. So out of these members, we're going to have Let's build a little bit of character here. So, a large lodge, pelt rugs, and should we say it's a large hearth in the middle, right? And a large hearth in the centre. Often the locals are kept awake by the singing that comes from in the evenings. Often the locals are kept awake by the singing in the evenings. I'll make this all sound pretty afterwards, but this is just to get a bit. So we're going to have sort of fairly loud and boisterous, perhaps. A little bit macho, maybe. Not just bandits, brigands, cheese goblins. They're the worst. They are the worst. Okay, so I think we'll probably have mixed in there as well. Okay, we'll have a mixture of. I'm just going to put extroverts, extrovert hunters, and some more traditionalists. Now, is this going to be the same as the Cult of Tal? I assume so. Large lodge, a hunter's guild. I mean, is it going to be the same thing, the Cult of Tal? Question mark. I mean, it could very well could be. If not, they would be very closely related. So we're going to have a mixture of traditionalists and extroverts. So we're going to have some that are a little bit more shy, recluse, and like disappear into the forest for weeks on end, come back with a few animals to sell on, and others that go around town bragging about how amazing they are, how they killed a bear. It's just to kind of set it a little bit. So we got like a little bit of like a Viking vibe, I guess, from some more traditionalists. Okay, yo, what's up, Mac? Okay, I like where we're going with this. Typically, all are trained with the short bow. Okay, this also provides opportunity for any of our players that wanted to learn to hunt. You'd be able to pay the trainers there. To be all with train bow by, and we can have like a notable trainer who does that. So we'll have a trainer. Though some rely solely on traps. So some will rely purely on trapping animals. So I like that. And lastly, industry. We've got more fleshing out to do with the Hunters Guild, definitely. We're going to have Fishing Guild. Right. So if we look at the geography of here, we do have a road. So in terms of what's going through here, the River Tarm does go through. And then we have a few little sort of estuaries, little roadhouse here. So that's okay. So let's say outside of town. Okay, let's do this. I like getting inspiration from the map. Why not? Located outside of town and independent of all. This won't be owned by Lord Tarm because currently he's got too much of a monopoly on everything. I will have to think of a reason as to why they're granted their own sort of abilities to fish and do what they like here, but they can just have been granted such a right by Tarm's father, perhaps. Granted legal rights to fish indefinitely by Lord Tarm's father. Lord Tarm wants the current Lord Tarm's going to want to overturn that, but having issues. Lord Tarm wants to overturn this if possible. Okay, so they're going to have a is it a river house? What do you call it? Like a damn, there's an adventure in Rough Nights and Hard Days that's set in a boathouse. There we go. Large boat house difficult to access from land. How many fishermen? 20 fishermen. Not that many. Who generally who operate via small boats. So they're just going to be going up and down here, getting some fish, bringing them in, bringing them to town. Small scale, and most produce is sold locally. Or dried and taken to Boeghaven. I like this. 15.6 fishermen. They pay the tithe in fish. Who wouldn't? Maybe the fishermen maintain waterways in return. There could be a little bit of that. So, okay. Yep. So what we'll say is that Lord Tarm made the contract in exchange for the maintenance of the waterways. Okay, I like that idea, Tala. So basically, what they would do is if, say, a tree falls in, it would be their responsibility to try and get it out so that the small amount of commercial vessels going between Tarm and Blutrock, Gramdorf and Weisbrook, so that they can continue about their business. I like this. Okay, we're getting somewhere. This is good. We'll just save this before it all goes Pete Tong. So, tavern. Okay, keep that. We've mentioned that enough times. We'll get rid of that now. We'll get rid of that. Okay, the forests. Let's do geography. Okay. Where's episode 9, Peter? Where is episode 9? Of Warhammer Fantasy. I assume it's on one of my channels? I don't know. Was this the final one? There should be an episode 9. I don't know. It was a long time ago. Make me curious now. Let's have a look. YouTube. Where's that channel? That cool guy known as Roll Corruption, right? Roll Corruption. This is why you decided to watch the stream. Okay. Videos. To Drakenfels. Really? Did I never publish the final episode? Why has no one told me this? Oh no, it finishes at episode 8, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it finished in episode 8. Yeah, that was the end of the campaign. 9 is high. Yep. Drakenfell. Yeah, that was the end of the campaign. There we go. Right, I'm back. Yeah, the 8th was the end. God damn you trolling me, Peter. God damn you. Right, now we're back here again. Like ripping the last page of a book out. It's just a cliffhanger ending, buddy. Right, now we're here to do GM prep. So let us carry on. Geography. We have dense forest. We have... okay, let's set the scene a little bit better regarding dense forests. Maps. Let's go forest. Forest ruins. Nope, just general forest. No, you're not in this campaign. Go away. Well, you are, but you're a different character. There we go. Right, so now we have a forest back. Okay, so dense forests. This will be pretty typical of. Dense forest, difficult to navigate by. Okay, impossible to navigate. By cart. Hilly terrain. hilly with lots of boulders. Again, we'll retype this to make it sensible in a little bit. You seek glue in this universe. Or adhesive. Right, well, I think what you do is you take cow cartilage and mush it up. I think that's how they used to do it. There's no one cutting down the woods for lumber. I would say yes, because the town is made from wooden palisades, right? So, yes, absolutely. And there will be a bit of a clearing around where this has been done. We could have a little bit of a logging operation here. I'm wondering if maybe something about the geography might make that difficult. So maybe it's the hilly nature, maybe it's the fact that the River Bogan's just much more effective at transporting this. No, we're going to need carpenters, right? So, Fisherman's Guild, we're going to need carpenters. So, Carpenters Guild, just because the majority of buildings are made from wood. So, Carpenters Guild, loggers. We'll come back to those, but yes, there will be. We'll have to have a think about how much is going on with that, but I agree. What is in creation today in the world of Warhammer? We are creating the world... Well, no, we're creating a town, Tarm. Some log-off operations too. Oh dear, I'm going to have a sip of beer after that. Right. Maybe there's something about the wood that makes it less desirable. Okay. Let's maybe there is a type of wood that is just not very good, and that's also one of the reasons why the walls keep falling down. Okay. Dense forest, impossible to navigate by cart. Hilly, lots of boulders. Lush with plant life. And I mean, if we go back to look at the actual region, we'll have mountains as well, and we'll have some pretty steep hills over here. But there's going to be a large amount of woodland contained within these waterways, but also across the river. There's going to be lots and lots of woodland. Okay, so let's actually write some of this down so we can visualize it a little bit. Across the road, Tarm. And then the road between Bow and Blue Rock. I need to Google Blue Rock and see if there's anything going on. Is a woods. Again, this will all be retyped, but this is just so I've got something here to retype. Okay, so this will be where the majority of the hunting is done. There'll be some to be done around here by the locals and such, but this will just say the majority of wildlife here is exhausted, and the larger woods. This is technically the Reichwald. Is it the Reichwald? Yeah, the Reichwald. There we go. There will be a large mountain here as well. That can have something inside it, something interesting. Havelfort. We also need to mention Havelfort, which is going to be a small village just outside. See what's going on there. We'll have to do Havelfort. Any ideas for Havelfort, guys? Any ideas for Havelfort? I'd like some of your ideas because I don't have too many. Right. So woodland, lush, lots of plant life. As well as dangers, bandits, beastmen, mutants, mutant outcasts, and even greenskins, depending on the season. But that'll do. Herbalisms. Yep, we're gonna have a herbalist within the town. There'll be witches in the woods. How does balancing encounters work? That's a whole subject, I'm afraid. Not one I can do within a GM prep video, but I can attempt to help talk about that at some point, but it's not something simple. Trial and error, I'd say. Okay, so we've got geography, we've got the woods, we're going to have mountains, we're going to have rivers. Let's go into the mountains. Right, so mountain-wise, to the east, a series of mountains guarding the Haga cribs. Guarding, or no, not guarding, we'll say overlooking. Overlooking the Haga cribs. Difficult to navigate. Surrounded by woodland and what could be in the mountains? I guess would beastmen be more likely to be there? I will be trying to do some GM related videos, Peter. So I will be covering a bunch of topics like that. So by all means, hang in there, bud. And I'll try and give some advice as and when. I need to think on that one as well, because I'm not even sure how to balance well in this. A priest in Blutrock once swore to me that his sister had birthed an entire litter of them after visiting the sinful streets of Nuln. That litter is Skaven. Ugh. An owl bear. Right, okay. Well, that's D&D. I mean, there could be an owl and a bear, and together they could have formed... Right, we could go for vampire in the Haga cribs. I feel that's... I mean, there can be an undeady vibe, because that's what the stories of the Haga crypts are, that there is undead here. So maybe it's just that the mountains are... We can say that maybe there's a few... No, we'll just come back to that. And we will have an inhabitant, though, to those mountains. No, that will actually be where the mining operations are. There you go. Surrounded by woodland and home of the current and former mines. Okay, so we're going to have some old mines as well. New mines, old mines. We'll have like 3 main mines that are currently in operation. Some of the older ones will be the ones closer to the Haga crypts. No, actually, the older ones will be close. The new ones will be edging toward. Okay, so old mines closer to Tarm. New ones are edging closer and closer to the Haga. So as for what's going to go wrong with that, because obviously anything like this is going to go wrong in a fantasy setting, we'll just, let me come up with an idea for that and not tell you exactly what it is, because otherwise there'll be no surprises. Mountains, rivers they look like they're pretty small. Yeah, okay. So aside from the... So the River Bogan has a reputation of being particularly calm and tranquil. I think we should make this one far more difficult to navigate. So this is going to have lots of... is that Tarm as well? Tarm. Okay. Let's just see if the fantasy thing has anything on it. River, Tarm, Warhammer. Not Thames. Oh dear. Warhammer Fantasy Wiki. That's what we need in our life. Okay. River Tarm. Borbaclan Canals. Okay, that mentions it a little bit. I can't really show you this wiki because it keeps flashing up with like, would you like to buy, I don't know, thongs or radiators or, I mean, radiators I've been Googling. I haven't really bought a thong in a while, but it keeps trying to sell me shit that I don't want. So I'm not going to go on because some of the adverts that pop up I have no control over. So we're just going to, just imagine now you're looking at the wiki with me, okay? Right, let's have a see. All right, on the River Tarm from here, the Tarm can be taken to where it flows into the River Blute to the Bogan, which in turn flows into the... Okay, so... Oh, there is a Haga Crib Canal as well. Okay, so... Haga Crib Canal. Where the hell is that? Is that this? Oh, I like the little settlement there. That's nice. Back to here. Right. Power went out at work. Uh-oh. Blute. So where's the Hagelfort Canal? I don't think it's labelled on here. Okay, so we'll just put question marks by that from... Say, okay. The River Tarn is somewhat harder to... So we're going to have it a little bit faster flowing than the Bogan. Okay, waters compared with the Bogan, however, lack the misty issue. So if you're not familiar with the River Bogan, it's effectively taken over by mist every night, so that's cool. Undead need to have some main reason to rise from the graveyard. Yeah, they do. They do. Lakes can be drowned. Zombie animals in woods. Yeah. There's stories of ghosts in the Haga crypts because there's a lot of crypts there. But I don't want to go into too much of the actual stories behind it because that's something I'd like to fill in. So when you guys are watching the campaign, there are at least some surprises, right? Somewhat harsher waters compared with the Bogan. However, the lack of there is no mist in the evenings, unlike the Bogan. Lack of mist. The water is clear, as is the air. Okay, that'll do. We're going to have lots of little sort of estuaries and smaller rivers and streams. And there are lots of rivers and streams surrounding the town of Tarn. Okay, we'll say small enough for a dinghy, but not a fishing vessel. Okay, so we'll have residents fishing. Residents fish. Though they aren't allowed. There we go. Are the towns up or down? River also trading. So from here, the water will flow this way. So to Blute Rock, to here, to Gramdorf, to Weisbrook, up to the along the canal and to Altdorf, as I understand, and then out to the sea this way. So I believe that's the way it goes, but actually, yeah, no, that is the way. It goes up here and then along, yeah. Yeah. So between Bogarthen and Tarn, you would kind of have to take the road. So we can do a section on travel as well. Havelfort. Travel, I think, would primarily be cart. Maybe it would be cart to Blute Rock, and then from there you would go off. Maybe cart to Blute Rock, small boat, and then big boat. That'll do. How much traffic would be on it? Ah, I see. Towns up or down. So in terms of traffic, I think you'll probably get a few vessels from Jettenberg. I don't know what they're going to deliver. So, okay, travel. Let's go traffic. Trade and traffic. We're shotgunning this now. We've left rivers. We're going on to trade and traffic. Jettenberg. Boats pass through and route. Yeah, because Jettenberg's definitely got a better route via boat. It doesn't have a road going to here. I mean, you can take the road down and then here. Maybe. I need to read about Jettenberg, though. Pass on route to Weisbrook and onwards. So that would be the main where boats come from. I'll have this as a bit... well, that's going to be a large agricultural, isn't it? So, yeah, we could have... Let's have a see. Maybe somewhere like Jettenberg has better quality wood that they import into Tarn. It's just as an idea. better quality wood is imported from here. Let's say, or could be, because it's not currently. Yo, how's it going, Roland? Right. This map is from the starter set, so it is from a published adventure, yeah. And this is a map you get digitally when you purchase Foundry and the Warhammer Fantasy modules for it. You'll get this included. So, and it comes with all of these things filled in, and you can click, and it's just amazing. There'll be a video coming out where I interview the guy that made it. Strongly recommend you check that out. Right, so we're going to have a few things travelling through here. From Boaghafen to Blutrock, we have a long road as well. So, okay, so we will have a cart network going through here. Carts pass through from Boaghafen and move onward to... so they would go Blutrock. So I like the way that the road kind of travels through, so I'm going to say, like, it doesn't get that much attention in here. Maybe more people stop at Havelfort, or they just go straight through to Blutrock and then stay there, Brookthyn, and then up to Altdorf. Onward to Altdorf. Okay, so we're getting there. Starting to build a world here. We're getting there. Is water travel going to be safer than road travel? Yes, and yes. Water travel will definitely be safer than carts. I would say, though, because I'm a mean GM, that there'll probably be a reason that the water travel is less preferable. I'm not sure what yet, though. Maybe just people can't afford it normally. But no, there will be water travel, and I'm not going to stop the group moving around because I want this to be set in multiple places, not just one town. But I'd like them to have a hometown that they can work with. It hasn't got the men to protect the roads. Yeah, well, the reason I think we're going to leave the roads out is I think the roads will be covered by the... I think they'll be covered by the, like... the property of the empire as such. I believe they'll be like more from the like central government. Maybe that's not how the road wardens work, but I'm assuming they will be paid by... maybe some of the slack is taken up by Boaghafen. The people there are going to need to basically make sure the carts can go through here, and maybe Tarm is in some trouble for not paying for sufficient... I don't know. We'll have a think on that one. Right, okay, so we've got that. Carts are passing through. We have a degree of mainly logging. And, okay, from down here, Scrobrold. Let's go with that. Some barges pass through from SCHRABWALD. Containing. So this is like lots of flat. Okay, so that'll be grain. Wheat, etc. So that's going to be farmed down here, and that will be heading up to Altdorf. Now, will it stop at Tarm, or will it go through? It will probably pass through. Passes through toward Altdorf. Okay. And we'll... Why don't people buy it there, then? Probably just because they can't afford it. Symbols. You have a question. The mage's component for spells like to cast firebolt. What? The mages can use components for spells, but not in the same way as D&D. They can cast them out of thin air with words, but they can use components to make them safer. Depends on the school of magic, but yes, you can kind of channel it through an item that makes it misfire and break the item instead of breaking you. So troops from Bogan and Blut with the hunters from Tarm. Pretty much, Tala. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's more of a D&D thing to actually need something to cast a spell. It's not Warhammer Fantasy. You don't have to have an ingredient by any means. Right, okay, so now we're getting somewhere here. This is good. We have a little bit more of a surrounding, a little bit more of a geography. I like that. Let's have a think about Havelfort. Okay. We are making another map. How's it going, Stone? How's it going? Right, so we'll make this heading to Havelfort. Okay, we need to format all of this, and we can hyperlink it as well, which will be nice. Right, Havelfort is going to be small village outside of Tarm. Now, why is it a small village outside of Tarm? Who owns it? What's it doing there? What's its trade? Maybe it's just a collection of coaching inns. And I don't know. Let's have some ideas, guys. What is Havelfort? Mushrooms, owls, and bears. Thank you, Captain. Thank you very much. I'm going to have a sip of beer after that. Ah, you've gone home because there's no power at work. Fair enough. Right. So, collection of bed and breakfast. Well, I think it could be a coaching inn and a few other buildings where the road wardens stop. Maybe they don't go to Tarm because it's just a bit shitty. Right, there we go. So I think it could be a pit stop place, basically. It could be like a service station on a motorway. Good halfway house for travelling between Bogarthen and yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's going to be expensive but hospitable. And it also creates a good opportunity for criminals and such to, you know, rob and steal and break in and, you know, make out with a horse. As in, run away with one, not to kiss it. But you can kiss it first if you're into that. I'm not. Expensive but hospitable. Coaching in. And I'm just going to put amenities for the moment. So we're going to have... Okay, well, let's actually go into some detail. What are the amenities? What would you need when you stop there? Maybe we... Who's the god of travel? Do we have a god of travel? Or a god of the roads? It can be owned by another lord. Okay. Owned by another lord. And created because Tarm is too shitty. There we go. So basically they wanted somewhere safe for the goods to stay. So we'll have a barn as well, or a couple of barns, Havelfort. Couple of barns. A warehouse, maybe? Don't forget the bare knuckle boxing barn. Oh dear. God of the Roads is called Tarmac. Yeah, that's fair. Post service, a general store. I think it will... Oof, yeah, it will probably have... smithy shoe person for horses. There you go. I can't remember what you'd call the damn things. Yeah, Tarm can be a bit of a crime. It can just be a poor shithole that like coaches won't want to stop there for the night. It's got wooden palisades surrounding it. It's not secure. Okay, let's say stone wall. Stone wall surrounds with a small garrison on watch. Well equipped and hired by X in Bogarthen. Okay, so one of the... Maybe this can be a dispute between Bogarthen and Tarm, that basically Tarm isn't doing a very good job of guarding the road, so they're trying to get the Hunters Guild to help out, but, you know, it's not really their thing. And as a consequence, Havelfort has been, let's say, converted. Converted recently into a halfway house for carts and travellers. Okay. Going toward Altdorf. Well equipped. Well equipped soldiers. Hired by X in Boeghaven. Toll house. Yes, toll house. That's a good word. Toll house. Toll house is also present. Here on the main road. So every time Dewey wants to take his cart toward Boeghaven, he's going to have to pay the toll. Yep, that makes sense. And there won't be a toll going north from Tarm because nothing good comes out of Tarm. So Dewey can have free reign to go north. He owns a cart, so a brothel. I mean, we've got a toll house. I mean, there'll probably be a couple of buxom wenches because stereotypes. Oh no, I'm breaking English law by perpetuating gendered stereotypes. Sue me. A brothel called Woody. Oh, there you go. Toll house is also present on the main road. Okay, let's just put inhabitants. Dislike those from Tarm. Especially the traditionalists. Hunters Guild. Who often... What do the hunters do wrong that really pisses these people off? Should we say that they often disrupt? I don't know. What would the Hunters Guild do that really pisses off the toll house, the road wardens here? Farrier, thank you, Tala. Okay, steal the goats. You stole my goat, damn it. They could actually steal an animal on occasion. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it could be that they antagonize the beastmen. A Hunters Guild, as they claim that... Okay, here's what it is, yeah. Not just antagonize, but it's the fact that they're going so deep into the woods that they think causes so many raids coming from the woods. So that makes sense. That's really cool. So the Hunters Guild, they claim that the hunters have stirred the woods and caused the recent increase in raids. Good. Okay, there you go. Stealing the beastman's goats. Well, I think that's just called a baby beastman, isn't it? They slip into their women. Okay, so this is good. So the Hunters Guild are going over here, poking around, and there has been an increase in raids recently. Now, Havelfort, the garrison here, are going to blame the hunters. However, what is actually going on, we'll never know, but that's going to be their view of things. Okay, I really like that. Well-equipped... 25 well-equipped soldiers hired by X. Okay, so there's going to be some well-equipped soldiers there. They're going to have swords, they're going to have crossbows, some are going to have chainmail, they're going to have leather armor, they're going to be fairly well-trained, and they're not really going to like the shitty people from Tarm too, right? They're just going to be like... Actually, some of them will be nice, some of them will be dicks, just like in real life. Right. Coaching in and amenities generally doesn't slightly increase cost, so it'll be a slightly more expensive place. Not many people would want to go to Tarm, and so they'll be like, okay, we'll go here, due to the comparable comparable safety. Okay, Okay, due to the safety afforded, it's slightly more expensive. Smithy, person for shoe. That's pretty reasonable, so we're going to have a farrier there. Offers some repair services to the members of the garrison. Okay, so that's going to be good. And also, here we go. I like this. Remember the followers of Tal, aka the cult. I think we'll make them the same as the Hunters Guild. They're not going to like them because they're using loads of metal. They're not traditionalists. They don't follow Tal. They're dicks. Cartwright for wagons. Thank you very much. Wagon repair shop. There you go. Cartwright, guild representative and station. Okay, so there will be a building dedicated to the Cartwrights. That's nice. I like that. That's good. Smithy shoe person for horses. Right, let me just go back here. Especially treasure claim the 100%. On the flip side, the followers of Tal dislike the garrison for their lack of tradition and respect for the woods. ... There we go. Stealing Cartwright's wagons that were full of goats. What's with you guys and stealing goats today? Someone we've watching too much Team America. Right, there we go. Okay, so that's good. Havelfort is coming alive. I like this. I like this. This is good. Right. So we can then go around at a later date and we can pad all of these places out with amenities. Right, we should probably go up here and go to amenities as well. And I'm sure all the spelling is way off, so, you know, bite me. Right, we're going to have a herbalist. A young herb gatherer. A young herb gatherer. Father went missing some years ago. Minotaurs. That's not an amenity. You had a dog last time. It was hard work. Yeah, give you a kennel. You want a side quest to pet dog for 1 XP. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, I'm just going to go to the toilet. I'll let you continue to just keep doing what you're doing in chat because it's great. I'll be right back. All right. Okay, Wales isn't real. It's a conspiracy by Thatcher government to artificially raise wool prices. Well, that's a pretty good thing if I change the word Wales for one of the towns in here. Don't want a dog, you want a pet dog. I see. Some dogs are bred for war. Right. Sells minor... sell some... What's she going to sell? Primarily just components. Sell some components for food and those in need. Low prices. Yes, these will be cheap prices, but even lower stock. Much is given. Okay. Okay, so she's going to be not necessarily easy to get stuff from, not because she's a dick. So we're changing the moral compass here. We're challenging it, rather. She's going to be a nice person, charitable. She's going to be getting a lot of stuff from the nearby. She's going to be foraging quite effectively, but there's going to be this slight issue that she keeps giving it away to free to those, you know, starving children. How... Those damn starving children. I would have gotten these herbs too if it wasn't for you damn starving children. Right. There we go. Okay. So, do you have the ride skill on animal handling? Right. Much is given... Okay, so we've got the herbalist. We're going to have a tanner. I'm just going to try and do a little bit of, like, what there will be. So we've done the tanner. We'll have a spinner. Is it called a spinner? A weavery? A weaver? A baker? We're going to have, obviously, the guild halls. Yep, we got the tanner. Tanner can definitely make a dog saddle. Right, we got a baker. Tanner, weaver, baker, general store. Carpenter, inns. What else are we going to have in the town? Let's look for inspiration elsewhere. If we save that. If we go Uberschreik, see what's going on in Uberschreik City. Down in city. Customs house. Nah. Bridge House Inn. Okay. Inns. Yeah, we got inns. A sausage shop. Ooh, okay. A butcher. Sausages. And mash. There you go. So we'll have a sausage shop, a guild house. Locksmiths. Okay. Guild of Cutlers Guild House. Guild of Guilds. Customs. The Hog Pit. Some sort of market. More stuff. Barracks. There won't really be a barracks. A chapel. Okay, yes, we have the religious building, don't we? What do we call it? Tal Raya Shrine. No, we'll actually make it into a chapel. There we go. Watch barracks. Yeah, I mean, there's going to have to be... Watch barracks. And there's not going to be, like, derelict. Derelict, mostly. Okay, we'll start padding out some of these in a second. Okay. Did we have 2 shrines? Yeah, we're going to have Tal and Raya, and then there'll be a small shrine to Sigmar. So it's primarily going to be a shrine to Tal and Raya, but there'll be like a bit of Sigmar in the corner just to keep, you know, keep the Sigmarites happy. Cat House, Docker's Arms. Okay, Boaters and Chandlers. I think the Fisherman Stuff Guild will like look after their own items. Miners. Okay, we'll put the buildings on here as well. So this is all the stuff that will be on the map. Miners Guild. Hall. Hunters. Lodge. What we'll do is we'll make a map and just put them all on here. You know, it should be rich, but no, I'm doing a small town, something far smaller than this. This is just for ideas. This is not the town that we're building. This is just me getting ideas. We won't have a physician's guild, for example. We won't have a town hall. we could have a granary. There could be a bit of a granary, I guess. Nah, that'll just be imported. That'll be imported. So we're doing Tarm. So the population of here, I think, is something like 3,000. So our population is going to be 500. So it will be like that bit, just that bit. So it's going to be a lot smaller. Cattle farm. Well, we're not going to have any cattle here because of the terrain. I don't know if you missed that earlier, but we're definitely going to need somewhere for the shepherdry, the shepherds to hang out. Shepherds, lodge, keepings. I'm not quite sure how they're going to, where they're going to hang out, or if they'll just be scattered around the hills. Won't be a wizard's guild, I'm afraid. Far, far from it. This area will be far too... The only wizards' places are generally going to be in Altdorf. The colleges, sorry, colleges. Yeah, so in Warhammer, there's far less magic, except for in Altdorf, where it's sort of policed a little bit as well. In this setting, if you cast a spell in public, you're likely to have a witch hunter come along and say, "Oi, you got license for that," and you've already broken the rules, so you're quite likely to get burned at the stake. Priest, yeah, I mean we'll have priests in there. I think that's fine to start off with. Lord is a douche. Yeah. The Lord here is going to be a bit of a douche. He's going to be a bit of a douche. Boatmaker shop. Yes, yeah, we'll have to have someone that upkeeps passing through boats. I mean, will the carpenters also deal with that? We'll do boats included. Boats Inc. So they'll do a bit of both. Or maybe that's why the walls are so bad for the town, because these are boat makers. Statue of the Lord. There probably will be one in the... There'll probably be one like outside of his house. I'm picturing someone that very rarely goes into the town. Like he stays in his manor and estate and has nothing to do. Occasionally, like he'll leave on his coach and like bugger off to one of the other towns. But I think this is a watch station. We've got a barracks. We'll call it a watch station. Okay, so I think this is enough to get us started. Let's fill in a few more bits of detail. Or barred cells so criminals can be displayed. Ah, right, yes, some sort of we'll call it stocks. We'll just have some stocks. Or gallows. Yeah, we'll have some gallows. So what I'll say is, because there's probably not going to be a large building dedicated to criminals, they will just be left in the gallows for a period of time. Yeah, cage on a pole, that type of thing, or in the blocks. Being poor is already a crime. Yeah, absolutely. If you don't have enough money, you probably have broken the law. Fletcher? Yes. So I think maybe the Hunters Guild would have their own Fletcher, but no, we'll have a Fletcher. They'll probably be inside the Hunters Guild or associated with it, but yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. Okay, so we're starting to get a reasonable amount of places here. What do we have? Anything else that... I don't have any other Warhammer Fantasy town maps to hand. I think that's a good start, though. What are the hanging cages called? The ones they put criminals in? Those are cool. They are pretty cool, JD. Right, let's go back to Reichland for a moment. So I like to keep looking at this. So this is our town. It's going to be small, but it's going to be bigger than Bloodrock and bigger than Havelfort. I might change the population to like 750. I I'm thinking that way Blute Rock can have 500 and Havelfort will have, well, not many either, but right. Okay, so we're getting there now. We're getting there. These will basically disappear from here and go into the map of the town that I create, so we can see more there. So this is nice. I like this. We're going to have probably another coaching in around Bogarthen, and there'll probably be another coaching in or two along here as well. Tokens for players. They're for players currently, yes, but they're not the actual tokens for players, and they won't be the actual images either. It's just they're the default image when you don't have one, and we haven't done token images yet. We're not going to be starting probably for about 4 weeks, so it gives me a little bit of time. Right. Let's have a see. So we start padding out a little bit of details for these, though. Tanner, poor quality due to the animals available. Most end up being bulky and ugly. However, there is little choice. So the nice thing about having 2 negatives on an item like that is that it's going to be much cheaper. So if you've got like 12 silver for an item, it's going to go down to 6 silver because it's bulky, and then 3 silver because it's ugly. I'll probably put it back up a little bit as well, but, you know, it'll be cheaper. So what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll make an inventory for this store so people can see what it has. So you have to describe yourself to each other. It's true roleplay. Right. Okay, so that's a tanner. The weaver will be scraps of wool, mostly as the as scraps of wool as most is exported. It is just enough to maintain clothing for the city, for the town. Most of the clothing is repaired by individuals. Most of the clothing is repaired by individual families. Okay, I mean that's just sort of standard for the time. A baker, one of the few luxuries within town. Okay, so the reason the baker is here, this is going to be because Tom really loves it. He loves the bakery. I like it. Kept in business partially by their regular patronage from Lord Tarn. Prices are high due to the taxes placed. Due to the taxes. Yeah, on the business. Okay. But the quality is... it's going to be like the only nice thing the town is known for. The only reason... Oh. Only reason people visit... the only real reason people visit the town. Okay. So here's an idea. Why don't we also have someone that's leading expeditions into the Haga crypts? So we can have like an adventure. One of the taverns can be known as the one where the adventurers go before they go into the Haga crypts. And it can just be, you know, most of them are never seen again. Okay, we'll just call it Adventurers Inn for now. Right, live down the road from the last in the UK. Oh, a cage on a pole to display the dead. A gibbet post. Oh, there you go. So there could be a gibbet post. Possibly. Call it the last stop. Yeah, yeah, the world's end. I like the last stop. So we're going to have one called the... what was it called? It was going to be the Miner's Pick. That's it, the Miner's Pick, because I like that. That is a good name. Right. Right, so we're getting there. General store. Trinkets. Trinkets for luck. Small amount of working, farming, and fishing tools purchased via the carpenter. And there'll just be some individuals in the town, local artisans. So local people will give items to the general store to sell. There you go. Okay, maintains. Let's say jack of. No, we won't say jack of all trades. Utilized to maintain the palisade. Is it palisade? Yep. As well as the architecture. Shopkeeper's kid is getting into the pottery and sells their idols there. They're not great, but the shopkeeper glares at anyone commenting. Yeah, that's a nice little touch. Here's a lucky spoon that my kid made. It's got like a massive hole in the middle. Right. Yeah, inns, rat hole, the rat hole, miner's pick, and the last stop. I might tweak the last stop, but I do quite like it. Right. Miner's pick. Rat hole. I nearly put the rat's hole. That would have been bad. The last stop. Okay, that's good. And we'll go with the cult. So we've talked a little bit about Tal. Okay. Cult of Tal is equal to the Hunters Guild. It's pretty much the same institution here. So the shrine to Tal will be inside. Okay, the shrine. Or will it be inside? Yeah, okay. It will be inside the guild. Inside the guild hall. Individuals are often... Are people going to be charged to... No, individuals are welcome to put coins on the statue as an offering. It's not going to be a statue as such. It will be a shrine. Right. Now, the cult of Raya is going to be... Now, if we have a little look about the religion of Raya, we can go here and we can go... How are we doing for time, by the way? Oh, we're fine. We're fine. A goddess of mercy. Goddess of fertility. There we go. Giggity-goo. So defend families, children and crops from all harm. Never feel shame for the flesh of Raya gave you. Okay, so... There you go. Life is sacred. Do not harm lest another life is in danger. Never judge whom another loves. Interrupt the work of the Prince of Excess wherever it may thirst. Okay. Right, let's see what the blessings here do. Target does not need to breathe and ignores rules for suffocation. Okay, that's strange. Test to break any of the strictures of your deity. Okay, I quite like that one. +1, +10 agility, okay. You heal a wound. Okay, so local healers. As shame wells within for considering violence. If they fail, they must choose a different target. Okay, so there might be people going to the god of Raya, who the priest of Raya, who travel through. How long does that last? 6 rounds? Yeah, well, we'll do a watered down version that lasts a day. Blessing of recuperation. May reduce the duration of 1 disease. Okay, so they're going to basically be your fill-in for healers, basically. Okay, it's going to be like minor stuff. They're not really going to be curing the diseased and such, but... Cult of Raya. Okay. Local healer, though effects seem somewhat limited. Occasionally, those going into the woods. Okay, request a blessing. Now, I feel like the healer are they going to be a nice person, or because otherwise they'll just be dishing out protection to everyone, you know, like protect you, protect you, protect you. Can a baker make garlic bread? Maybe. Maybe. I think it'll primarily be pies. Pies and... well, we'll see. Healers hate hunter. I mean, they can certainly be at odds with Tal for the cult of Tal for being a little bit more on the violent side. You know, just going around killing stuff for sport when it's not necessary, perhaps. Blessings of Raya are overpriced. Yeah. Request a blessing, though. There is a cost, which is often high. The thing is with these settings is that normally you have a healer who's very charitable and doing what they can, but we'll just have the Cult of Raya being quite expensive. Cost is high due to the taxes placed upon them. There you go, it all comes back to taxes. Why is anything overpriced? Well, because it's taxed. Holy sites, no large temples, so many ancient sites constructed from ogum, standing stones, the centre of worship for a cult. Some still echo each equinox with the cries of fevered celebrants. Shrines to Raya are usually a simple statue of the goddess, often piled high with offerings of food and drink. Older shrines are often made of small standing stones marked with worn spiral patterns. Okay, so what we'll do is actually we'll just copy and paste this in. Just that way I can come up with something. Right, the cult has no great temples and protects no holy books or relics of significance. Many scholars believe her worship to be declining, possibly already dead. Many cultists do nothing to contradict such talk. Cultists have no fixed vestment or preferred garb, though greens are very common, as is using plants, flowers or herbs to accessorize any clothing. They often dress in a fashion considered far too revealing by the Sigmarite doctrine, which can cause friction, as the Ryans believe, giving into such... I might not do overpriced. I might not do overpriced, but I might be that she'll only give blessings to those who that she deems pure of heart. So she's very selective as to... She can be a bit of a judgy bitch. That's fine. So she will only pass the offering to those she deems in need. Okay, so she's not going to be too sort of catty about it. She'll just only give them out to people that are desperate. I'm not going to tell the players what the criteria are. Last stop is just next to the gallows. Yeah, I guess we can have an undertaker as well, couldn't we? We can have an undertaker. Okay, so that's a nice idea. Goddess of fertility and summer. I mean, the shepherds will probably go there and pray that the sheep, you know, have lots of sexies and make more baby sheep. Miracles. Let's see what the miracles are, actually. Laying hands on the earth, you chant a prayer to Raya, appealing for her aid in in understanding her realm. The miracle can only be done... What the hell does it do? Okay, well, it's just extra fellowship for everyone. It's boring. Okay. Edible fruit, vegetable, and fungi grow at the point where you touch. For each round in which a miracle was enough food to feed one person to grow. Okay, okay. That gives me a plot idea. She used to perform when young. Often, causing the food. Okay, she basically used to do Raya's harvest. However, in recent years, it's no longer working. Okay. So she used to actually contribute to the welfare of the people here, but she has no idea why. But Raya has not answered her prayers for a very long time. Okay, there you go. Raya hasn't responded to her prayers for a long time, and she's pretty much given up trying. There we go. Again, I will actually make that sound good by retyping it. You bless and consecrate. Okay. While the miracle is in effect, if biologically possible, the couple will conceive a child. Oh, that's nice. If biologically possible. How dare you? How dare you, Cubicle 7? Biology is of no obstacle. If one of them is a man and one of them is a woman, genitals aside, then a spell will make a baby. You bigots. Anyway. What about her sass skill? We'll see. We'll see. I think she'll be a bit sassy and a bit moody and a bit pissed off. Gossip skills a bit high. Probably. Let's have a look. Will we have a Thieves Guild here? Well, if we did, it will be a secret, so... if this removes a suffer condition... Okay, so I'm just going to say she's not really doing a lot of healing these days. Nothing's working anymore. Everything's just... it's just... She's having a bit of a bad time of it, right? So, of the animals that are hunted by the Hunters Guild, some will be sold to the local citizens. So, butchers... Mostly cured meats. It's proven safer to serve than... Okay, so what I'm thinking is that the woods in the nearby area are pretty densely populated with animals, so the hunters do come back. Plenty of rabbits, plenty of stuff to go around. Most of which they probably consume themselves, but some will go to the butchers to be distributed. Is it going to be a butcher's, or will it just be like a sausage? Sausages. Sausages of any kind you can imagine. Though rarely... Okay, so they'll have loads of sausages. Loads of different types, but half are just going to be horrible. So it'll be like a fish sausage. It will be a rabbit and parsley sausage. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a rabbit and parsley sausage, but not two things I'd put together. Where would the Thieves Guild be? Well, they would do it in secret. I like that idea, Mark. The Thieves Guild is just a bunch of rebellious teenagers. Well, I'm gonna go steal something. Okay, let's actually spell sausages. Sausage of any kind you can imagine. They're really tasty. They typically sold out. High demand and low supply. Okay, so we'll probably have a little market. Okay, so we're going to have a little market street. Then we'll have the local artisans sell their wares, though taxed heavily to do so. Almost anything can be found. There we go. And then almost anything can be found here, though nothing of much use. There we go. So we'll probably have fishermen have a stall, however, selling dried fish, which is extremely popular. Lovely. Lovely. Yeah, I like your idea, Mark. That's a good one. Rebellious youths being the Thieves Guild. That's good. Cookhouse. Everyone prepares their meals in hummus. Yeah, a cookhouse makes sense. The butcher's cookhouse. Because as far as I understand, in those times, quite often you wouldn't have, especially if everyone's in a wooden home, it's not a great idea for everyone to also have an open fire in their home. So a cool house. No, we'll have a cookhouse. The cookhouse can maybe also be a bit of a tavern inn thing. Okay, so that's nice. Maybe the Hunter's Lodge won't be quite so large. No, it will be. It will be. Okay, so gallows, stocks. Hang on. I've got to change this sodding music. This is driving me mad. I don't know if you guys can hear it too. I hope so. Yoink. Okay, we'll go for... Should we go for folk? Go for dramatic. Oh yeah, dramatic. There we go. Or should we go? We'll go for somber and depressing. Depressing? There we go. Oh, it's so sad living in this town. No one has any food and everyone keeps wearing smelly, ugly armor. So sad. Small violin. Right. A Tannery bar and grill hybrid. Absolutely. It could be called Hot Rocks. They could serve hot rocks for people. Like, why did no one in the medieval times do that? Put a rock in the oven, cook the rock, and then give the rock to someone to cook their own food. Why did no one do that? I guess it's because you need to put a rock in the oven for a hell of a long time. Is the music a bit loud? We'll turn it down a bit. Yeah, we'll turn it down. Okay, is that a bit better? Is that a bit better? Are we looking good now? Right. So we'll have the Miners' Guild, the Miners' Tavern. It's also going to be the Guild Hall. Also the Guild Hall. The Miners' Pick. Okay, so I think what I'm going to actually do... Here's an idea. We're going to get rid of the Hunter's Lodge. Cookhouse Inn. Also Hunters. HQ. So some of the taverns in here will double up as sort of the guild halls. Because it's a small town, right? So we'll have the Miners' Pick will be a tavern, an inn, where the majority of the miners go. They're not going to have their own building. They're not going to have too much going for them. This is what they've got. So let's write about that a little bit. Will it actually be made of stone? A building partly under construction. Often with the cursing of... miserable dwarfs. Okay, trying to maintain the Ungak timber building. There you go. There is a legendary pick on the wall. Yeah, that's a good idea. Unhappy small folk noises. Legendary pick is on the wall, which was once wielded by insert dwarf name. Oh, I know. Which was The pick which discovered... Okay. The largest silver vein in Reichland. It was purchased by the brothers. I put their name, but I can't remember it. In order to bring luck. There we go. Did think about what's being mined? Yes. Yes, so the mine is mainly going to be coal, but they're going to have a number of prospectors and they're going to be looking for silver. So they're basically mining enough coal to keep the operation going, but they are determined to find silver. So what they're going to be doing is gradually moving closer and closer toward the Haga crypts, moving in that direction. So that's nice. I like that. In order to bring luck. Ales. Some ales are imported dwarven products, which come at a cost, but are popular. Okay, there you go. I think, should we have a couple of dwarf rangers as well in the... yeah, I think we should. The cookhouse we can... I'm sorry, Stone, you might have a chef halfling doppelganger or evil inverse Sir Marshmallow. We'll go back to the watch station. No, we'll come back to that. So the Cookhouse Inn is also going to be where the Hunters Guild is located. This is going to be... Someone come up with a good name for the cookhouse. Good names for a cookhouse. Ideally a little bit Germanic would be good. Moustache twirling chef master bandit halfling. That's quite the mouthful. Evil halfling. Evil Luigi halfling. There you go. Wah Luigi. That's a good name for a halfling, isn't it? Tull's Rest. I mean, it doesn't have to be really Germanic, but something versed. Oh my god. How about having a cookhouse called Expect the Versed? No, that's going to be the name of the butchers. Expect the worst. There you go. Talaka Worst. Joyful Pig. The Joyful Pig's nice, yeah. The Dancing Pig. Kook's House. The Pig House. Betson the Verst. I don't know what these words mean, I'm afraid. I'm not German. Something versed. Begtorp. Rat Hole, then. We can't have the Rat Hole be in the cooking place. The Rat Hole will be somewhere else. Let's have a think. I quite like the bumping steak. The greasy meat. Best and the worst. Okay, there's some good ones coming out. Oh, my word. I think we can do something with the fried egg. The last stop. I mean, it could be the last stop. But we can have another one. Tal's Bounty. Tal's... Oof. Yeah. It could just be called the Cookhouse. We've already got a worst. So Expect the Worst is already there. So we don't need to do Worst anymore. Worst case scenario. Yeah. I quite like the Dancing Pig. Or the Joyful... I quite like the Joyful Pig. But it also doesn't sound like much of a Hunter's Guild sort of... sort of place. I think we might just call it the Cookhouse. Like, I just think that actually sounds quite good. I'm sure we could do better. Sheep on a plate. Yeah, we do have lots of sheep. Okay, the lamb something maybe? Mutton. Okay, how about mutton something? The dancing mutton. Jesse's cookhouse. Replace pig with any sort of wild animal. Yeah, the dancing deer. Burnt mutton. On the lamb. Oof. Yeah, right on the lamb. Lamb stew. I don't know. Maybe I need to come back to this. I've got there's so many of them that sound quite nice that are kind of floating around my head now that you've put in. Mutton on the bottom. Looks like it's random name generator time. Yeah. Mutton. Or we could call it like chops. Like something chops. Let's go with something meaty. Let's go with like a meaty pun. Can we Google meat puns? Meat puns. Let's see what we've got for meat puns. Okay. So we meet again. We meet again. MEAT. Ugh, dear. Okay, what else do we have? Let's see what else we got. Okay, do you want your meat medium? No. That's rubbish. I don't know. I didn't finish the pun. The pun wasn't worth finishing, though. Okay, back to chat. Found recently in Google Drive the videos you use in Map2VT Foundry. You had recorded any more footage other than Warhammer-esque video games? No, I'm afraid not, buddy. Afraid not. Freya, the seared hydra. The seared something. The seared chop. Mutton chop. The seared. I like the seared something. The seared. Oof. Okay. Let's look at this. Best names for a butcher. Let's see what Google tells me. Fatted calf. The meat hook. Grass and bone. Okay, 77 all-time butcher names. That's what I need in my life right now. I will accept your cookies for this. It will be worth it. Okay. Big steer meats. The corner butcher shop. Publican quality meat. No, they're rubbish names. Some are okay. Medium rare. The undercover pig. The undercover pig. Wow, that's good. The seared troll. I like that. Seared beastman. You can't. No, we're not searing beastman. The respected lamb. Try my no. The organic steer. No. Modern names suck. The fancy hog. Okay, we could just call it the hog's head. Like. The hog's head is just the lamb's head. You can't really call it the lamb's head, can you? That just sounds so much crueler than the hog's head. Everyone's happy with the hog's head. The poultry king, the local butcher, shelf meat. Okay, onboard butcher. No. The fancy hog, the dancing hog. I think we'll go with the. The gristle whistle. The ram's head. Yeah, we'll go with the ram's head. The ram's head. Yeah. I think that's a good one, Sebastian. I like that. The ram's head. Just because there's going to be lots of rams around, it's also going to be... Yeah, that's good. Ah, dear. Right. Also the Hunters Guild. Okay. Large building. With a shrine to Tal within. Most of the Hunters Guild gather here and host meetings. So what we'll have is they'll, like, every now and again they'll cook people. They'll cook people. They'll kick people out and have their meetings within these and be like, no, sorry, the Ram's Head's busy tonight. The Hunters Guild are having a meeting again. Guild gather in here and host meetings. 2 large hearths. Hearths within. And a number of locally grown, locally brewed ales made by the staff. There we go. Cannibal cult confirmed. Yep. Okay. So that's nice. Fletcher. Okay. Let's talk about the Fletcher. Or should we go for this? I'm not sure. Do we need a shepherd's lodge? They've got to have somewhere where they go. Maybe they just go to one of the generic taverns. Free range beastmen. God damn it. Locally grown beastmen. No. Right. Right. How are we doing here? Right, let's go Fletcher. So, can you make an arrow from chicken feathers? Let's Google this. Can you make an arrow from chicken feathers? You can fletch arrow with any bird's feathers as long as you get some of the right size. Some birds work better than others. Okay, so it is possible. Good. That's good. I just wanted to know that for the campaign. So obviously there'll be some of the birds. Okay, so we'll go. Primarily gets birds from the Hunters Guild. However, at times will purchase chickens. Okay. We'll purchase chicken. Okay. There we go. Feathered end. Yes. We could go with feathered something like the feathered edge. Or the flying chicken. We'll have a think on that. Supply is exclusively for the Hunters Guild. No one else is allowed to hunt, so they are the only ones with a license to hunt. Anyone else caught with a bow even is arrested and put into the stocks for a week. There we go. Chicken on a rock. Are Reichland gooses as mean as Canada? Canadian ones? Yeah. I would expect so. I would expect geese to be particularly angry. Okay. So that's going to be interesting about the Fletcher. Like, it will be... Yeah, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. Again, I don't want to give away every plot as to what I'm thinking here, but the aim of this is that it will be a sandbox. So the first session, the guys roll up, we could say, well, what do you want to do to try and make money? And if they just go to another town, it's fine. We'll just make some shit up on the spot. But I want this to be something where they can read about the town at least and be like, oh, okay, so here's some things to give me some ideas. And this is the climate that my character is within. So that's good. That's good. And we'll have it so each of the characters have like some attachment to here, because I prefer it to have a hub rather than no hub. I think that's preferable, at least something that ties them here. Right, so that's good. What I might do as well is ask each of the characters to make an NPC that they know in town. It could be someone that owns one of these places, or it could just be a completely different NPC. They don't have to like make them. Just tell me the name, tell me how you know them, and then we'll bring them to life. Right, gallows and stock. So anyone from poachers? So we need some security as well, don't we? We actually do. The watch station needs to have a little bit more security than I put. Occupied by 20 staff. Poorly equipped. And lazy. When it comes to defending the walls. But quick. Now, are they going to be the law keepers? Owning a bow in the Empire isn't frowned upon. Armies usually love to recruit archers, but arresting people with special arrowheads for hunting is more likely. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can kind of see. The thing is that it's not going to be like a militarized place, so I don't know. I think they would be wary of anyone that has one. We'll see. Right, the watchstaff are the hoods that got too old to hang out behind the store. So we're going to have 20, not staff, but watchmen. So let's have a little look at watchmen. We'll look at the careers and see what we can find, because that'll give us some good inspiration as well. Right, GM's guide. Nope, not there. We'll go here. Nope, not there. We'll go here. Careers. There we go. Watch captain, watch recruit. There we go. Details. No, I want a career description. Career description, there we go. A watchman. Right, you maintain the peace and keep the rabble in line so your town doesn't descend into anarchy. Watchmen are employed by local authorities to patrol the streets through the Empire. Most are little more than well-meaning keepers of the peace, and few know the laws they're supposed to enforce. Corruption is rampant. I love that. Corruption is rampant, and many watchmen enlist purely from the authority to hurt people or to support local criminal gangs. Some can earn triple their wages by turning a blind eye. Only a few towns and cities have professional watchmen paid to understand and uphold the law. Instead, the Emperor's peace is normally maintained by the local state army, who man walls, guard gates, and patrol the streets according to the instructions of their superiors. Not every watchman is crooked, but those with morals are soon jaded by the corruption inherent in the system. By joining adventuring parties, principled watchmen can champion justice on their own terms. Okay, fine. Right. That's nice. Let's have a look-see here. What's this mark? Right click, chicken on the rock, owning a bow, 2 dwarfs count as NPCs, the watchstaff for the hoods, It's actually a nice GMN instrument. Each player make 1 NPC for himself and the other. And for the other, interesting, and every player should have, at the end, 1 NPC whom he likes and 1 who he hates. I like that. I like that. That is interesting. That is interesting. But yeah, okay, that's going to be a lot of NPCs, but we can make something work with that, I'm sure. Let's have a see. Let's have a see. So we've got our watchman here. So we will have 20. Will we have 20 watchmen? Yeah, okay. Poorly equipped and lazy when it comes to defending the walls, and quick to accept a bribe. Quick to accept a bribe. They tend to look look for crimes where there's something they can confiscate. There we go. There's something they can confiscate. That's nice. I like that. I like that. That's good. So they're going to mainly, like, there'll be, if someone came back with a deer and tried sneaking it in without a license, they would confiscate the deer and keep it for themselves and put you in the stocks and eat your deer. You can totally allow 12 named NPCs. Yeah, but we have quite a few players, Captain, because we have a rotating, like, show. So it will be more like, I think we've got like 9 players. Or 8 players. So there's a fair few. So that'll be 16 NPCs. It's not too bad though, is it? It's not too bad. There'll be lots more NPCs, but Fletcher, Market Street, Shepherd Lodge. So the Shepherd's Lodge is something. So Are the shepherds just going to sleep in the hills? Yeah, I would say Shepherd's Lodge is probably where they come to town. So it won't actually be a lodge, but the dancing lamb, aka Shepherd's Lodge. Okay, so most farmers and... Okay, there aren't many local farmers, but most local farmers. And shepherds come here to exchange stories of the local lands, as well as knowledge of goings on. We'll have it as a friendly place. No, an unfriendly. Quite unfriendly to those who are not local or within one of the trades. They see the other citizens as soft and maybe not soft, but... Yo, what's up, James? Yeah, I haven't seen what Danny's done recently. Haven't kept up there at all. I'm glad he finally moved to Foundry, though. I'm glad he finally bit the bullet. Yeah, soft and weak. As weak. There we go. So that's looking good there. I'm really digging this. This is such a nice map. Soft and... Yeah, maybe a bit ignorant. It's weak and ungrateful for the danger they put themselves in. Okay, and trivia time. Most farmers here have learned to either wield a weapon or a sling. There are no shortage of predators. Constantly watching their herds. Marvelous. Some even have hunting dogs. Nice. Could have several shepherd families that have to rotate through the lodge on a weekly schedule due to hostilities over sheep stealing. Oh, yeah. That's a nice sort of rumour. Sheep going missing. Ah, okay. Now this is better. There are often fights and vocal disagreements over herd sheep going missing and other herds mysteriously growing. I like that. So it's not just that the sheep are being stolen, right? It's that, like, someone loses 20 sheep and someone else gets 10 and someone else gets 10. So hang on. So there's going to be lots and lots of fights breaking out here with, like... That's good, and that gives me a few plot ideas too. Some men are shepherds by day, brigands by night, poaching and robbing. Well, what these shepherds do at night, who knows? That's their business for now. Okay, so this is good. We've got quite a nice little bit of a world. Well, a small little world coming in here. So we can start to then pad out Jettenberg, Blutrock, and Midfurt, Gramdorf. Boghafen I know enough about. That's fine. I won't do all of that now, but we'll just have a little muse together for a few minutes while we think about this. But Blutrock, I think, it has a road going straight through it, as well as a river, so I think it's going to be ideal for offloading and loading goods. There is a tomb up here, Farbrand's tomb, and I'm very curious what's in there, so we're going to need to do some reading about this. Midfurt, I think there is some information on. I'm not 100% sure. Jettenberg, I haven't seen anything about, and I like the fact there's a little unnamed village here, just outside of the Hagercribs, so that's pretty neat. Waldenhof is... How would you get to Waldenhof? I guess from Gruberg. Yeah, definitely from Gruberg. How do you get to Groslin? Okay. So that'll be an interesting little bit of trivia. Is the only way to get to Groslin will be via the riverways? And that can have some interesting stuff going on. Ah, dear. Clearly go to the Schaffenfest. Clearly. It's a nice thing to include. Nice. It's a fun thing as well. I like it. Okay, so we're looking good now. We have some structure. We have some amenities. We have some industry. We have a bit of info on Havelfort. We have some random crap that I need to put in. So this is good. This is good. What this means is I can now get to work on making that a little bit prettier, and then making a map for it and putting some of these things from that journal entry onto the map, and then I can have my players actually interact with the world as such. So all I need now is a map of a town that looks vaguely like this art style, but I also have a cunning plan, a very cunning plan to try and do this. But for now, I am going to go and grab myself something to eat because I am a little bit hungry and peckish, and I think I'll probably be doing either a little bit of Chaos Bane later or Gladius. Obviously over on Airsick Hydra at the main channel. So again, guys, we've got about 4 weeks till this starts. I'll be doing a little bit of content on my thoughts regarding GMing for this system, my plan for making the campaign a little bit better this time round, the improvements and tweaks I want to make. So I'll probably do a video on the mistakes I've made as a GM when doing this, at least the ones I've recognised as mistakes, and follow that up with some tutorial combat, just to also help my players get up to speed on how to use tokens, how to fight other people in this. And I think from there we'll just kind of see how we do, see how we go, and see what other content's needed. I'm going to definitely be doing a video on how to create the videos that go in the background, because for me they're such an important tool. I wouldn't do without them, and I don't want to go back to combat maps ever, really, if I can help it. But we'll see. Now, I'm going to go and eat my food, drink my beer, and be back on in a couple of hours. So thank you very much for all stopping by. It's been absolutely wonderful. It's nice to see a reasonable turnout for this channel as well, considering how little content I've had. So I do not deserve you all. You are all fantastic, and I'll see you soon. Take care.